One of the things I was talking about was, So if you want to do some exercise today, I would suggest that you go for a walk. If you're in Moncton, it's nice and sunny. That's what I did. It's a little brisk, but there's something about walking in the woods that really, and you could, that makes you really, I don't know, be peaceful and calm and reflect and stuff. And it so happens that today when I talk about the bear, I'm not your bear. And for the longest time, I had this question in my mind. I was trying to answer, and I started this earlier on. Why don't people listen? Actually, why don't I listen? Why wasn't I listening when people were telling me things? And why don't people listen? Recently, I had a interaction with a coworker, and she was attacking and blaming me, and I was saying, well, blaming me for not having told her that she was not performing. And I thought, that's interesting, because I did. And it's a reflection on why don't people listen. And then we go and we take classes on active listening, and we take coaching class on how to be present. And I read a lot of books on just don't talk as much and practice the art of active listening, which is to not talk, listen, look at the person, nod, and then repeat what they said. So these are all great tactics, but it hasn't stopped this problem that I keep running into, is why don't people listen? Well, you can go and say the old axiom, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And these kind of axioms are saying you can only listen when you're ready. And that's absolutely 100% true, because I was like that. For 10 years, I didn't listen to my friends and my family telling me that I was nuts. For 10 years, I didn't listen to people saying what you're doing is too risky. For 10 years, I didn't listen. And now I see it in others. And sometimes I see it in myself. Why didn't I listen? Well, pretend you're in the woods like I was just a little while back. Hi, Vanessa. You're walking in the woods, and all of a sudden a bear appears behind you. You start running like you're scared, right? And you're thinking, oh my God. Like, I can't think of anything else. You're not thinking about going to the bathroom, or you're thinking about the hockey game last night. You're not thinking about shoes. You're not thinking about food. And you're certainly not listening to anybody saying you shouldn't have gone in the woods. And that's what happens when you're scared. When you're scared, you can't listen. So when I see people blaming, like I was blaming my boss for having not honored his word, which he didn't do, but I was still blaming him. I was blaming the court system, so I'm not having a justice. I was blaming the government and capitalism for having a conspiracy against me. It's kind of silly. But behind that blame, behind the things I was doing to others was to minimize them, to belittle them, to attack them, was fear. I was running scared. I was running scared, and when you're running scared, you're not listening to anybody, your closest friends, right? Have you ever met somebody and you say, you shouldn't be with that guy? And they don't listen? They do the contrary to what you're saying? Because they're reacting. Because they're scared. It's not really love, actually. It's a reaction, right? There's a difference between reacting, right, to something, and being in something. So here's the thing, though. When somebody blames you, and I had a discussion with a wonderful friend this morning, when somebody belittles you, when somebody attacks you from not being like the same as everybody else, like what happened to me this week when I showed people my brand new tattoo, right? People were saying, what is that going to look like when you're old? Well, I'm already old. It's going to look like that. People were saying, are you having a midlife crisis? Well, I hope so. I'm 60, so that means I'm going to live to 120. You know, and people are asking me, have you asked permission from your son, from your wife, from your mother? And I'm saying, no. See, I realized that I'm not. When people are attacking and hitting you, I'm not the bear. I am not the person that you're scared of. So when people are attacking you, they're scared. When I was attacking, I was scared. When people react to you, belittle you, small you, they're scared. But here's the thing. I am not the bear. I'm not your bear, actually. But I was my own bear. I was my own, you know, when I was blaming other people, I was getting scared of myself. And that's the joke, right? So in order for people to listen while they're doing something bad, you have to be able to see, are they fighting you back? Are they blaming? Are they angry? Are they belittling you? And behind that is fear. If you're blaming, attacking, belittling, behind that is fear. You're running. Yeah. So how do you make people listen? You have to acknowledge your fear. You have to say, yeah, I've been there, scared. I've been there. Yeah, I understand, right? But I'm not going anywhere. So when people are telling me, why did you do this tattoo, right? Or if my mother says something like, you know, this is stupid, I have to make sure that she understands something, that I'm not the bear. And behind that comment is she's scared. She's scared that I'm changing and I'm moving away. And there's nothing could be further from the truth, right? When you do something that's different, people attack you because they're scared. They're scared you're moving away. So you have to reassure them that you're not going anywhere. You have to reassure them that it has nothing to do with them because you're not the bear. They're scared of something inside of them. They're scared of something like you're going away. This is interesting for me because, you know, I often fall into my behavior, my trap of blaming, attacking, judging, being jealous. And behind that is the real thing that I have to get into. Behind that is my real narrative. And why is this important for me as a leader, as a man, as a father, or as a parent, as a woman? Why is that important? Because it's a little bit like this. If you were practicing hockey and you wanted to, you know, make sure that you can, you know, play against your opponent, what you would do is every day you would shoot that puck. You would shoot that puck, you would shoot that puck, you would shoot that puck. So it became automatic, right? Another way to look at it, if you wanted to dance, you would practice rock back 1, 2, 3 like a jive 350 times until the steps becomes automatic and you're not thinking about it. And when that happens, you can rise up in the dance and start enjoying it because you're not thinking about dancing anymore. You have programmed your subconscious mind to react to rock back 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is a jive. So you're actually not thinking about it. So you can do something more elevated, more important, right? Which is to enjoy life. So once you start practicing behavioral change so that you don't react to anger, blame, or jealousy, right? What you're doing by sitting in it and saying, I'm not your bear, I have been there, I'm not leaving. What you're doing is you're practicing being a better person. And one of these days, as long as you keep practicing looking inside of you and saying, why am I angry? Why am I jealous? Why did I do that behavior? And you analyze that and you reprogram that to understand your behavior better. One of these days, after 350 times maybe, it'll become automatic. And then you can rise up and enjoy the ride. Like I did when I showed my tattoo to the people who were trying to shame me. Well, actually, they were just scared. I am not your bear. I hope that makes sense to you guys. And I wish you have a great Sunday. See ya.